Party people! Well, welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I'm your host as always, Jeff Stormer, and this week on the show, I'm joined by Kevin Cole for a game of Space Kings. Space Kings is a playing card-based tabletop role-playing game designed for over-the-top interstellar adventures. Players take on the role of rough mercenaries, plucky pop stars, and funky aliens, fighting evil space governments, soulless megacorporations, and the all-consuming void. This game is a joy. It is big, it is over the top, it is fun, it is silly. The game that we played was basically The Bear, but in outer space. It was a delight. I had a great time with it. I really think you're going to enjoy listening to it. I think you're going to enjoy checking out the game, which you can do at spacekings.space, or you can check the show notes for more information. But first, an ad, because they pay the bills. This probably won't surprise you, because this is a podcast about playing role-playing games, which is largely based on reading books. But I like to read books. You've probably seen Shadow and Bone on Netflix. Season 2 is streaming now, and these are the novels that inspired that series. The Grishaverse novels are set in a lavish fantasy world in which magic and science collide, first established in the Shadow and Bone trilogy and further expanded in the Six of Crows duology. If you've seen the Netflix series Shadow and Bone, you like those sort of dangerous outcast characters, Six of Crows is directly up your alley, but there are also a lot of other books in the Grishaverse, and this is perfect for fans of Game of Thrones, The Witcher, Wheel of Time, or, say, Dungeons & Dragons and Blades in the Dark and related role-playing games. Wink, wink. Listen, if you're listening to this show, I'm willing to bet that, a particular vein of, urban crime, fantasy, magic, science colliding type stuff is maybe up your alley, so I'm willing to bet that you would enjoy Six of Crows if you read it. NPR called it a world that's real enough to have its own passport stamp, and that is the kind of immaculate, elaborate world building that I always am excited to see. To learn more, go to Grishaverse.com, that's GRISHAVERSE.com, or get your copy wherever books are sold. And with all that said, let's go ahead and throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. I am so excited this week to be sitting down with Kevin Cole. Kevin, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
I could not be more excited about this game today. I've been thinking about it all day. Why don't you take a moment and let our lovely listeners at home know about exactly what we are playing this week, as well as anything else that you've got going on you might want them to know about.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Kevin Cole. Today I've brought a game called Space Kings, which I made with my friends. We've actually been working on this game for about 9 years, if you can believe it. It started out as just a way to include some of my non-RPG inclined friends, a way to bring them into the world of TTRPGs. And then we just kept playing it and having fun with it. And we finally released the book in 2022. The game is Space Kings. Space Kings is a playing card based improv TTRPG. I like to describe it as somewhere between a Dungeons and Dragons crunchier experience and a one sheet game. So something that kind of inhabits that middle ground. The way the game is played is basically mostly a theater of the mind. We're going to be inhabiting the roles of pretty much just cool characters that we can think up, and I'm going to find a fun and conflict-rich little scenario, or maybe not conflict-rich. We could do a chill.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll whip up some characters and see what conflict those characters get dragged into. It might be larger than life. It might be nothing at all, or it might be both of those at the same time.
Yeah. It's very possible it could be both of those at the same time. There really isn't a dedicated Space King setting. It's really whatever we put together. I wanted to give folks enough tools to start making their own settings and lore and stuff like that, because we just when we played in our home games, we just wrote down everything that made us laugh, and we'd make callbacks to them, and we'd have a list of loose ends of oh, that character just kind of walked off, they didn't have anything to do, maybe they'll come back later. So I really wanted to give people a chance to play TTRPGs like I did with my friends in high school and college, and in my 20s, was just have a few drinks, make it rules light, and just kind of have a good time and focus on the improv.
Hell yeah. I am loving every word of this. This is getting me so excited. Now, I before we make our characters, I want to throw you a quick question.
Sure.
Because I want to, as we think about the particular brand of weird sci-fi that we're going to indulge in, the first thing that I want to do to ground us is say, what was the last sci-fi or sci-fi adjacent, whether it's space fantasy or a sick metal album or however you want to define it? What's the last sci-fi thing that you like that like completely got your wheels spinning?
Oh man. Honestly, we're recording this close to Halloween, and my roommates just watched Alien.
I do love Alien though, is the thing.
And Alien to me is like, I think it's just a perfect movie. I don't know if we want to do a Monster Mash or something like that, or maybe some sort of blue collar type thing, but Alien is the one that's in my head right now.
The vibe is there, and I feel like of those things, you saying the words blue collar, like that blue collar energy is extremely there in my head. I'm trying to think about the last sci-fi thing that like I sat with that I watched recently that I adored.
Honestly, I've been reading a lot of it's not sci-fi, but I've been reading a lot of Redwall books because I got into a book club with my friends. So I've kind of been feeling a cozy vibe with a lot of stuff lately, like a cozy sort of fight tyranny kind of vibe.
So I guess technically this counts as sci-fi.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, and a vibe is starting to emerge if I think about these two things side by side that feel like they're very different pieces of entertainment.
Okay.
But I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once last week.
Ooh.
And like that next to Alien, weird vibe.
Yeah. I like that because it I still no one be mad at me, but I still haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once. But I get it's
listen, it took me almost a full year. I'm encouraging our listeners, do not add us. Sometimes it takes a while to watch a thing.
I'll get there. I'm the worst with movies, but I will get there. I promise. But that has sort of like a dimension hopping kind of vibe to it, right?
Yeah, and like I think the vibe that is emerging to me is like, because it's like a dimension hopping thing, but it's all wrapped around the story of like this one family that runs this one laundromat.
Okay.
So that something about this like blue collar.
Yes.
Like a very aggressively blue collar people. Because I guess like if I'm thinking about non sci-fi things, my wife and I in 2022 rewatched all 13 seasons of Bob's Burgers and the movie.
Wow.
So
okay. I love food service as like a blue collar like setting. So like maybe like some sort of like burger joint in on a space station or something like that.
Yeah, I kind of love that. I think almost like to build a bounce off of that a little bit. I'm thinking about like the visual of like a jet fuel plane popped up.
Yep.
And something about a galactic catering service.
Yeah. And the issues that may come up with that, because, you know, alien biology can vary wildly. What's food
and you
to
have
one
to
species.
And you have to like get to the place where like if your job is to like replenish food supplies on a ship, and while you're there, like give them a nice meal experience. That also involves getting to wherever that ship is located, which can mean interfacing with some really fun alien-style nonsense.
Oh, so like having like it's like one of those old restaurants where someone has to like roller skate your food to you or whatever, but it's like you're in the vacuum of space.
So what I'm envisioning, this is my vision.
Okay.
There is like a Space Hulk deep in space, right? Like one of these giant like cruiser ships. And like to be in that space, like, you know, you have to have like supplies have to come to you essentially. Part of that like resupply process is like kind of similar to the way that like there are the planes that can refuel a jet engine in midair.
Yeah. Okay.
A ship will arrive and like dock with you. They will resupply. They will like hook up your station or whatever with supplies. And while they are, and like the specialty of this particular ship is that while they are there, they will roll out a catered dinner to your crew with like chefs and like food service. from like station to station across this like space that is inhabited by various space stations and generation ships and things like that.
So it's like you're like a trucker or something, but you'll also make bacon and eggs for people.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That visual of like my this is some family life stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My parents are huge campers and they go to this one campsite.
That's
and
wonderful.
My dad will just on Sunday morning roll out the grill and just start cooking, and anybody that comes by, he will just hook up with breakfast. And he makes you eggs and toast and biscuits and gravy.
Oh my
and
gosh.
He just will spend like 3 hours just making breakfast. And if you walk by and you're like, hey, that smells good, he's like, come grab a plate.
That's the
vibe.
That's incredible. Okay, I love that. By the way, slight recommendation: if you're looking for an anime about camping, Laid Back Camp is a joyous experience.
Laid Back Camp. I'm writing it down.
It's just some high schoolers who go camping in the woods, and sometimes camping is a little bit more than you bargained for, but everything's okay. It's like a zero conflict anime, and it's just really, really chill. The manga is great as well.
The anime that I will recommend in turn before we kick now that we've got a setting and we can start making characters, but briefly an anime recommendation. Have you seen Restaurant to Another World?
I have seen Restaurant to Another World. It's
great. It's the best.
God. I'm big into dwarves. I love dwarves so much. So the episode with the dwarves like admiring like the glasswork and like
it's great.
Like,
it's wonderful.
How'd they get a beer so pale? Like that was everything to me.
The lizard folk with the rice omelets, delightful. It's the best. I love it. Listeners, go check out Restaurant to Another World. It's great.
Yeah, sorry for the tangent, but I gotta get my
important
important anime recs had to happen.
All right, so we've got this space catering ship.
Yeah, okay, a space catering ship. Let's go through character creation.
Let's do it.
There are many ways to fill out the Space Kings character sheet available now at spacekings.space. But the way that I think it's good for a newcomer is to just start at the top and move towards the bottom. Later on, if you're playing a game and you're like, I want to try out some ultimates, you can start at the bottom and move up to the top. Ultimates are like more complicated rules for your character. But as we go down the character sheet, we'll sort of narrow down our choices, and it'll be a little easier for us. So in general, we like to start with a concept for your character. This is just sort of a 2-word phrase that has no real gameplay bearing, and it can change as your character grows and changes. But it's just sort of like a little reminder phrase to help you just sort of pinpoint what your character is about. In the Space Kings book, which is available now at spacekings.space and book.spacekings.space for the high quality hardcover version, we've got a little character concept generation table. If you're feeling like you don't really know where to start, if you don't really know what kind of character you want to play yet, you can actually flip 2 cards and come up with a character like, let's see, I got a 9 of hearts and a 7 of hearts. You could have a mercurial bon vivant as your character if we wanted to.
I mean, you don't know how much I love like rolling on random tables, so I think that's exactly what's about to happen.
I can send that to you as well.
I got the book in front of me. I'm flipping. Give me a
page 21 for the character concept generation table. It is a lot of fun.
Oh hell yeah! I'm drawing some cards. We're doing this.
Excellent, and I will be generating our conflict for this evening on a table as well.
All right, so I'm drawing 2 cards, one from column A and one from column B. Correct?
Yep.
Got it. That is the 7 of clubs. So that is immature.
Okay.
King of clubs is scholar. Immature scholar.
What if we
think about this?
If we flip those 2, we get a kindly cultist.
Also very good is the thing.
But feel free to move around the generation table if because we're going for a more blue collar a college boy. Well, college boy.
I think I know what I want.
Okay.
I think I know what I want. Because my gut was going what I wanted to pull on, the character concept that I wanted to pull in was a short order cook.
Mm-hmm.
and College Boy Short Order Cook.
Yeah.
That's the bear, baby. I gotta pull on the bear, now available on Hulu.
That's that hits a nerd. Like, I was like, there's no way there'd be a scholar. It's like, well, then I think about like all my friends with more degrees than me.
The idea of like, the idea that like, okay, now my character, I'm gonna put down ex culinary short order cook.
Nice.
I went to whatever I went to like fine cooking school.
Yes.
And like I am pulling on I am outer space the bearing this. I went to cooking school and I am now running this like galactic, or I am working as like the head chef at this galactic catering ship.
Fantastic. I love this. Okay. We can come back to your character's name if you don't have one in your head yet. But we can move a little further down the sheet to attributes.
Mm-hmm.
So the attributes, we have 6 attributes for you to choose from. You start with 1 dot in all of them, and then you can assign 7 more dots. You max out at 4. But the attributes are brawn, which describes how big and tough and strong you are. It's good for punching, and it also determines your health. You have agility, which describes how lithe and flexible and fast you are. Agility determines both your initiative, which determines when you attack in combat, and your dodge, which lets you forego taking damage to your face. Intelligence is how good at logic you are and memorization. The more intelligence you have, the more skill practices you have, which are sort of like skills come in 2 degrees. You have a practice, which gives you 2 points, and a mastery, which gives you 4 points. You only get 2 masteries, but you can have a lot of practices if your intelligence is high. So if you want to have more access to different skills, intelligence is a good thing to invest in. Wit describes how creative and observant you are, probably a thing that a chef would want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Wit contributes to both your dodge and to your drive, which lets you flip extra cards and push yourself. Charm is how likable you are and how much the universe loves you. Your charm is going to influence your crit. Crits can go crazy and give you a lot of successes on a like small flip. So crit is in general pretty fun to have. Presence is if charm is how much people like you, presence is how much people respect you. Characters with high presence can be taken seriously. They can command a room. Characters with low presence are kind of a little more unassuming or downtrodden. Presence influences your initiative and your drive, and those are the attributes. Do you have any questions? Are you thinking any attributes strongly?
I'm starting to assign. I'm putting 2 in intelligence and 2 in wit immediately. I
Nice.
think that brainy, creative.
Yep.
Putting 1 into agility as like I like the visual of the short order cook flipping spatulas and julienning potatoes.
Yeah, you got to be fast in the kitchen. That makes
Got to be
sense to
fast
me.
in the kitchen.
Yep.
I think I'm going to. I've got 2 more points and I'm sitting with them and I'm trying to decide where I want to put them.
I will say, if you go to 4 in an attribute, that'll open you up for an ultimate, which is a special skill later on.
Ooh, I think 4 wit is where I'm gonna go.
Very nice.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll go 1 in. I'm gonna roll a dice here.
Nice. Yeah, you can also generate your character like that if you want to roll a 6-sided die.
We're gonna go 1 more in charm.
Nice.
I like not having presence. I like not being respected.
I find this game can be very fun if you have like big strengths and big weaknesses, but you can also make a pretty balanced character as well.
That feels good. No, that feels great.
Nice. Your brawn is one which can be a death sentence for some characters, but we'll see.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out.
We'll see how it shakes out. So because your brawn is 1, your health is equal to your brawn times 3, so you'll have a total health of 3. While you have 3 while you're at 3 health, you can flip an extra card when you take an action because you're healthy. But the second you drop to 2 health, you become injured and you don't get your healthy bonus anymore. And then once you hit 1 health, you are unconscious and you are unable to take many kinds of actions. And after that, you are dead. So that's your health. Your initiative is going to be equal to your agility plus your presence. So you're going to have an agility. You're going to have an initiative of 3. Your dodge is going to be equal to your agility plus your wit minus 2. So you have a dodge of 4. So maybe you won't be so easy to take out in combat. You might just have a little bit of spring in your step.
Yeah, if you're going to become a chef, you got to learn to duck a punch.
Yeah. Your drive is going to be your wit plus your presence, so 5, so you can really push yourself. And you're going to have a crit of 3 because crit is equal to 1 plus your charm. So when you flip the Queen of Hearts, that is going to count for 3 successes instead of 1.
Got it.
So that can really, really swing things. Because your intelligence is 3, you're going to have access to 5 practices or 2-dot skills. And 2 masteries or 4-dot skills. Since cooking doesn't like often come up in a lot of games, I usually put it on I'd say perform, since cooking is an art and perform is more of an expressive type of skill.
Sure. That makes sense.
So I'd say perform is the
probably a mastery.
Yep.
I'm gonna put 2 dots into biology. I'm gonna put 2 dots into space wise.
Excellent.
So I've got 5. So that's 1, 2. I'm gonna put 2 dots into persuasion.
Nice.
Actually, I'm going to put 4 dots into biology as my other mastery. So my masteries are biology and perform. I know how to cook things.
Maybe a little bit of a food science background.
I know foods. I know how to combine them, and I know, like, if I'm dealing with an entire galaxy, there's a lot of foods that I got to know.
All right, you still have 3 more practices, 3 more 2-dot skills.
Definitely explosions. That's great. That rules.
You're gonna flambe something at some point, so explosives.
And I'm looking at my list of skills, and there are 2 more practices that I'm putting in for that feel wild to me. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to go with both telekinesis and telepathy. that was my gut.
Though those would help a lot in the kitchen.
Telekinesis, absolutely. Survival is the other one that I'm going to go with. I have trained in cooking in a lot of, you've got to learn how to cook in a lot of weird environments.
Excellent. All right. 1 more practice for you.
Oh, I've got all 5 of mine mapped out.
Oh,
explosives, persuasion.
Yep.
Space-wise, survival, and telekinesis.
Yeah,
gotta have telekinesis. I've got to have telekinesis. I was like, I'm going for one of them, if not both.
All right, I think this fits a chef very well. So, your particular stat alignment opens you up to a few different ultimates. So you can pick 2, but. Let's see, little help, since this is a 1-player game, the Brawn 1 ultimate, little help won't be of much help for you. That allows your allies to take damage for you. I could rule that you could use that to have the other people who work in the kitchen, you could use them as human shields if you wanted to take that ultimate, but we can find some other ones for you. The Wit 4 ultimate is Refresh, which is once per combat on your turn. You can reset your dodge to its max value for free. No action required. The Presence 1 ultimate, I believe, is Punching Bag. When you take damage to your health, you get 2 points of drive. So getting hit gives you more willpower to spend on big splashy actions. For your skills, you have a mastery in biology. That one is Stitch. So when you use biology to heal a character outside of combat, spending drive adds successes instead of cards. So you could definitely use that to like just explode a biology flip if you're healing somebody. And we all know food is healing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Video games have taught me anything. It's bread will save your life.
I think I like Stitch a lot, and I also really like. I think Stitch is the one. I think I'm going to go with Stitch. I think that feels good. That feels good. That one's. I'm locking that one in.
All right, so we got Stitch. You picked a lot of like group, a skill set that helps a lot of people in a group, but we're doing a one-on-one game.
That's fine. That just means randos are going to show up that I'm going to have to help out, and I appreciate this.
I feel like Refresh might be a good one for you, just in case you do get into a fight. You're going to be very tanky.
I think those are the two that I'm going to go with. I think that feels good.
Nice. Oh, and just one more note on your dodge, since it may or may not come up this session. Your dodge is kind of like a halo shield. Anytime you're hit and then you have a calm moment, you can put your dodge back up to its max. When you're in combat, you can't do this. Except you have refresh, so you can on your turn once do that. But you're taking hits to your dodge is pretty much a good thing to do rather than getting hurt as a tiny little scrawny college boy.
That feels good. That feels great.
Great. Okay, cool. For useful items, we can either ignore this if we want to move on to the game, or you can just write in whatever you want. Any item you write in is just going to give you a +1 to your skill of choice. Like you could have a chef's knife that gives you +1 to perform, an apron that gives you +1 to biology. Anything you can think of for items, you can have 4 of them if you want. And as many non-useful items as you like. I am going to start you off with the anti-joker, which means once per session, since we're only doing one session, if you flip a joker, you can say, that's not the joker I want, and we'll ignore it. When you do flip a joker, I get to take control of the scene and cause some mayhem.
So, love it. I'm going to go with a chef's knife for +1 perform. I'm going to go with a portable grill.
Yep.
+1 for survival.
Excellent.
I'm going to go with... just let me write this out. I'm going to go with the Gemstone of the Infinite Abyss, which gives me +1 telekinesis.
Excellent.
I don't know what it means. I have it, and I like that I have it.
You have it, and you will use it well.
And
you can also do non-physical things, like you could have a winning smile if you want a +1 to lying or something like that. It doesn't have to be a physical item if you don't want it to be.
I have I have a cooking school degree.
Nice.
That gives me +1 biology.
Excellent.
Because the idea of a cooking school that is almost exclusively focused on, here is another planet's biology that you have to like. If you find yourself in a world that is silicon based, here are the things that will be edible on this planet and the ways that you can cook them. If you find yourself on a water world, there's probably gonna be plankton. It creates the conditions that make for water.
Yeah, like endless uses too.
Yeah,
the biology skill. Great. I'm going to flip a card to randomly determine where we will be setting this adventure.
Great.
As soon as I flip in my beautiful hardcover full color book to the correct page. Okay. Strangely appropriate. We'll be setting this adventure on Bear Planet.
Bear Planet, love it. My name is Toast McLennan.
Toast McLennan. I love him.
Toast McLennan, he, his pronouns. Toast is, in terms of appearance and species, I am envisioning, I'm leaning hard on telekinesis, and I am envisioning a little bit of like a gray eye, like a gray alien.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I'm picturing, like I picture floating as like the standard like movement. Like a big head, little body alien that floats around and does a lot of telekinesis, but does it in service of cooking. Very funny to me.
In my head, he kind of has the curly like mop of the protagonist from The Bear.
Yeah, that feels good. That feels good. I like that. That feels great.
All right, if that works for your,
that works perfect. That feels great.
All right, cool. I'm now going to flip 2 cards for the conflict of our story. Okay, 3 of diamonds. No, don't look this up. It's going to be a surprise. I'll tell you later.
All right.
And okay. All right.
I love that sound. That's one of my favorite noises in the world. I'm excited.
Yes. All right. Okay. So what is the name of Toast's Catering Company?
Toast's Catering Company is
I feel like some sort of toast pun would be like the toast of space or something like that.
I was gonna say it's called it's Safe Harbor Dining, because wherever you are, there's a safe harbor waiting for you with Safe Harbor Dining.
Beautiful. I'm gonna say, do you fly the ship yourself, or do you have anyone staffing this vessel along with you?
I'm increasingly thinking. The more I sit with it, the more I think I am the entirety of Safe Harbor Dining.
Okay.
I think it is truly, and that gets away from the stocking a ship and bringing supplies, and much more into the I am hired by by a client in a ship somewhere, and I have to go to them and prepare a meal for them.
Yeah,
but that rules and is delightful.
I'm getting a more food trucky vibe from the
thing. Kind of a midnight diner type experience where it's like I show up, I walk in, you tell me what you have and what you want me to make, and then I make it, and then you probably cry while you eat it.
Yeah, so some sort of deep-seated emotional problem is solved due to the specificity of the thing you cooked.
Yep.
I love it. Do you think your food, your spaceship vessel, do you think how do you picture it? Is it just a van that flies through the cosmos? Does it have a cool painting on the side of it?
I mean, it has cool paintings on the wings. I have been keying in, in my head, the visual that pops up is, that weird ship that Obi-Wan flies in Star Wars Episode 2, where it's a little bubble, and then there's wings on the side, and he flies that around. It's that. On the side, there are on one side there is an airbrushed wizard, and on the other side it is shooting lightning bolts at a dragon that is painted onto the other wing. If you view it from above, very, very sick, completely invisible to any other angle but directly above.
Fantastic. I'm gonna say your beautiful ship, the Safe Harbor Dining ship, is just casually trucking through space. You're in a more rural part of this galaxy. In front of you is a lovely green planet that is roughly shaped like a bear's head. Mm-hmm. It's got 2 moons that, as you look at it, sort of go just right to become 2 little ears on the planet. You're entering the atmosphere of Bear Planet when all of a sudden your warning lights start blinking. You're about to land. The autopilot's about to take over when you get a warning from your ship's computer. There is a larger ship about to collide with your vessel on a collision course.
Every day it's something new. I am trying to do my job. I am trying to make people happy, trying to elevate people's culinary experiences, and people are testing me. They're testing me. It's what they're doing. They're testing me. I'm in the cockpit. I'm piloting the ship. I think that the thing to do is start flipping switches and trying to signal, essentially shoot out the equivalent of like flares from the ship of like, hey, there is a ship here, or like flashlights into the sky. Because like if somebody is headed towards us, the best way to signal it to at least see if I like get them to stop is like maybe they're just a larger ship and they don't see me.
Because this is sort of a navigation and just sort of a knowing your way around space kind of thing. I'm going to say this is an intelligence and space-wise flip. So you're going to flip cards from the top of your deck equal to your intelligence plus your space-wise, plus if you've got an item that gives you a bonus to anything along those lines, plus 1 if you're healthy.
All right, so that is 6 cards I am flipping.
Great, and those go in your discard pile. You don't have to worry about those cards anymore. You will know if you do really well at the top of the game. You know that your comeuppance is coming.
And if you do really poorly, you know that you've got to come back.
You're just on an arc.
All right, so that is the 6 of clubs.
Okay.
That is the king of hearts.
That's 1 success.
The 7 of clubs.
Okay.
Or the 7 of spades. The 9 of spades.
Yep.
The ace of diamonds, and the 6 of diamonds.
Okay, you got faces and aces are successes. So you've got, I think, a king and an ace.
Yep.
So that's 2 successes. That is an adequate way to get the ship's attention. As you frantically flip through communication channels, you finally get one where a face greets you on the display, a bespectacled face of a mole person, just like a large mole shaped alien with big thick glasses, is fiddling with the communicator, and he's like, "Hello, you're in
Flip
our way.
the fucking brakes over here."
Is this on? You're in. We're going to crash. Our autopilot stepped out for a second, and you'd better move, or else we're going to hit you.
Oh my god! Learn to drive. I swear, every day I'm being. This is my testing. This is my testing.
Hold on, maybe I can figure it out. He's going to attempt to operate the very large. Like, this thing is like 4 semi trucks duct taped together. In terms of size, he's just a mild-mannered scientist. He does not do very well with heavy machinery.
So then I am like in a hurry trying to get the ship out of the way, right? Like I am in the hurry, like being like, oh well, then I gotta pull the ship because I don't want to get crushed by a giant spaceship.
He manages to turn all the brights on and just floor the gas pedal. He's now coming at you faster than he was.
Great.
He knows where the horn is, and he's like, "Please move! I don't want blood on my hands today."
What are we gonna call piloting the spaceship to like roll out of the way of this oncoming catastrophe?
Depending on how you want to do this, I'm gonna say this is definitely a piloting flip, but I'll let you flip either agility or wit, your choice.
I'm gonna take wit. I think that feels right. I think that that feels right, and I'm gonna throw in the detail since I'm using wit here. I think it's sick if this ship is engineered kind of to my specifications a little bit, and so there is like the visual that is in play here, right? If we are the viewers watching this, is, lack of a better way to put it, like piloting by way of hibachi cooking.
Yes, yeah.
Like flipping a lever and like pulling a lever out of a slot and like slapping it against a thing. It's like very like visual. It's cooking based piloting is how I would describe it.
I would love it if a spatula was involved somehow. Like in order to activate something, you have to like spatch something up and then flip it over.
I love that. Well, and I like that it slots into things, right? Like I have to slot a spatula into something, twist it, pull it out, slap another thing with it. There's like a crystal that I have to crack like an egg, and then I dump that into a tube and it makes a thing light up.
This tracks because I edit podcasts, and I just like I rebound all of my hotkeys recently, so they're all on WASD. So like it's like when I edit my podcast, I'm like a gamer now. If I could personalize like my car, I'd do it the same way.
All right, so that is a 9 of clubs. That is the Jack of hearts.
Jack.
the king of clubs,
King.
and the 4 of diamonds. That is 2 successes.
All right, I'm gonna say you're experienced in your defensive driving, and you've got everything calibrated just the way you want. But this thing is coming straight at you. You just barely make it out of the way of this behemoth of a science vessel, as it just kind of scrapes your back bumper a little bit. It's a little too late to like call them and yell at them to pay for that, because they are now plummeting onto the surface of Bear Planet.
Oh, like that's gonna be. I'm gonna have to. That's gonna be a 2-hour call. That's gonna be a 2-hour insurance call. That's what that's gonna be.
Fire and death! We're going down.
And I kind of like, I insert the spatula, I twist the key so that like autopilot is holding me in place. And I kind of like settle into my chair, I close my eyes, I start to levitate.
Yes.
Like purple light swarms around me. And I am trying to, for lack of a better way to put it, do that scene from The Dark Knight Rises. But with these mole people, like just whoop them out of the play.
All right. I'm going to say this is going to use a large amount of your mental prowess. So give me an intelligence and telekinesis flip.
All right. That is 5, and I am going to. I'm trying. I don't think I'm going to need to spend a drive on this, but I'm thinking about it. I think 5.
Don't forget
5
you're
feels
healthy
like
as well.
Oh, then that's 6 cards. I think I'm good. I think I'm good with 6 cards.
All right. You can always choose to flip more drive after you've made your initial flip.
That is a 4, an 8, a 2, a jack, an ace, and a 5. So that is 2 successes.
2 successes. You're doing a lot of just like adequate, like.
I think that's good. That's good for where we're at. Is like barely scraping by in a situation that I don't really want to be in.
So you're trying to retrieve anyone living from this currently crashing vehicle is your plan?
That's kind of what I'm trying to do. Anybody that's alive, I'm just trying to like yoink whoever I know is in there, just yoink them in and hold them in the sky so that I can kind of like drop them somewhere fairly safe.
You kind of like pull up as close as you can with your food truck on autopilot. You reach out with your mental energies, and you're like it's like holding an egg on the edge of a spoon, as you just sort of fish something out with your mind and place it near you, and with a sort of electrical popping sound. The mole from the communications appears next to you. He's you're both short kings, I imagine.
Yeah.
But he is still a little bit shorter than you. He's wearing an adorable little lab coat, and his glasses are misted up with tears as he was preparing to greet the mole reaper just seconds ago. And he goes, "Oh, thank you 1,000 times."
I quietly, my eyes still closed. I quietly float him behind my ship.
Oh, okay.
Just over the clipped bumper. And I just hold him there for a little bit, just kind of holding his head towards that clipped bumper. You see that?
Was that me?
Yes, it was. Very astute observation over here.
I can write you a check. I'm not insured, but
yeah, check is probably all right. A check is fine.
Hey, wild question. Did you rescue any of my other coworkers?
And I open the cockpit, I pull him inside, and pop out the spatula, hit the gas, and try to board onto this ship so that I can kind of figure out a way to pull everybody off of this ship as it's crashing.
It's there's an explosion from the back as all the fuel ignites in the ship, and it's like a bullet from a gun. It just smashes onto the face of Bear Planet, and the scientist looks on in mild horror, and he's like, well, they maybe some of them are alive, and perhaps they are hungry.
Well, listen, you're alive. That's what matters right now. Is that you're? I would need you to know you're alive.
Yes, I'm a little peckish.
I can make you some food. Do you do eggs?
Yeah, I could put away some eggs. Let me tell you.
How do you like your eggs?
Oh, just loose most of the
Loose?
time. Yeah, just loose in the hand.
Have you tried poached?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I'm gonna poach you some eggs.
Wow, nothing too fancy.
No. Fancy's fine, but it's the comfort food. That's where the real artistry comes out.
I could use some comfort. I think a good percentage of the people I know are now burning to death in the wreckage of.
Well, I'm gonna get you some poached eggs. We're gonna go down. We're gonna rescue your friends. I'm gonna get them some food. We're gonna get you settled. We'll deal with we'll fill out the insurance paperwork. It's all gonna be good. It's all gonna be good. I promise you.
Yeah, hashtag self-care. There's
Self-care.
There's no need to rush to anything.
No. Listen. I need you to be in your best headspace for when you talk to my insurance company and tell them that you and your crew are at fault here.
Well, sounds like an exciting space adventure to me. The autopilot takes you in gently to Bear Planet's surface. It can't land you precisely near where the wreckage is, but you're pretty close. You can see a giant column of smoke through the dense trees in this little clearing.
I'm guessing that's where your friends are at.
Yes, yeah, they're very flammable.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Oh,
I do hope they're all right.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get them out of this. I promise you. We give you my word.
Let me see that egg, though. Can I get a? I'm going to say a perform and intelligence or wit to make that egg.
All right, I think we can go wit here.
Yeah, you're using all of your senses. You're dividing what you know about this scientist who's he feels like a Mortimer to me.
Mortimer feels good.
Mortimer feels great. Always Mortimer, though. Always the whole name. He is a professor, but he doesn't make you call him professor.
Oh boy! First off, that's a lot of cards. That's a lot of cards.
Yes.
That's 3 faces, but that's also a Joker, and I'm trying to decide if I want to use this anti-Joker.
So if you don't shoot that Joker, I will sway the good results into something chaotic and narratively interesting, which won't necessarily be very good for you, but it will be a lot of fun.
I think that feels like you know what? Let's go for it. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
All right. Yeah. We're going to leave the Joker. All right.
Yeah. Let's leave the Joker.
3 successes. This dude is not giving you a lot to work with as far as what his order is. There's only so many ways you can poach an egg. Or you would say that if you weren't the best dang egg poacher in this quadrant of the galaxy. You could write your thesis on poaching an egg.
We get a real food anime egg poaching sequence.
Yep.
Jeff in the future, insert a pre-written thing about the actual secrets of how to poach an egg. Look into this later.
Yeah, make sure to give some some nani, some incredulous sounds in the back. Yeah, but you do one of those you finish off by doing one of those little saucy chef swirls on the square plate. What? A square plate? You do one of those saucy swirls on it, and you sprinkle some some purple alien spicy flakes on top.
Yeah.
Mortimer is just enchanted. He asks you little questions over your shoulder, taking advantage of being able to just kind of wander around your kitchen as you cook. He's just kind of so enchanted by what you're doing. He's like, I always wanted to be a cook, but the only thing I could ever make was Pop-Tarts, and they always came out black and burnt.
That's see, and I take one of the one of the clean spatulas. I pop it out of like a wall panel, and some of the lights on that wall shut off, and I kind of tap Mortimer in the head slightly. Like, see that's where the bad cooking is coming from. It's your head. You're getting into. You gotta embrace. You gotta flow. It's like water. You flow like water. That's the key. Water, fire. We should go help your friends.
Oh man, fire! Yes.
I got a little distracted with the egg poaching. We should probably go look at your friend.
It's been 3 hours.
Yes, it has been several hours. I just was, you get in the moment, you start to flow like water, and sometimes you end up in the ocean. We should probably that's not great. That's not going to be great for us.
Oh man, I don't know if there's like insurance for dead friends, but I'm definitely going to look that up.
You probably should. Yeah, it's not great.
Maybe we can settle. I don't want to have to.
Maybe we just call that even, but we'll see how it goes.
What's a scuffed bumper and a few torched friends between clients? I don't know. You wander outside of your food truck. It is a beautiful day on Bear Planet. Man, this is just one of the most lovely, unspoiled regions of space. You can't help but notice how everything on this planet just has a little bit of a like bear quality to it. Like you see an outcropping of rocks. It's shaped like a sleeping bear with a big tummy. You see a bunch of trees, and you can't help but notice like little bear faces in the bark. Like this planet is like on theme for bears.
Sure is. It sure is.
Which doesn't put you at ease as to the general safety of the science team that crash landed here. But there's a giant column of smoke to follow. I'm gonna ask you to do an agility and survival to make your way safely and perhaps sneakily across Bear Planet.
All right. Agility is 2.
Mm-hmm.
Survival is 2.
Mm-hmm.
I have a +1 to survival, and I'm trying to think about how I can use it, as it is a portable grill.
Well, you can't walk on an empty stomach. Like
that's true. I think what it is like I think what it is like a lot of the poached egg talk.
Yeah.
Like the poached egg monologue like is actually happening on the grill. Like as we're walking towards everyone's friends is what it is.
I kind of imagine like the grill kind of attaches like kind of like a sandwich board or whatever to the front of you, so you can walk and grill at the same time.
Yeah,
not safe feels at all, but
not even a little bit, but funny, and that's what's important.
Yeah, you're kind of like hovering along like telekinetically, so that
is 1 success. That is the Queen of Diamonds and 4 non-successes.
Okay. Yeah, you get the bare minimum of survival across. You do not trip and burn yourself on your own portable grill. You you leave only footprints and take only pictures. You do all of the good camper stuff. And eventually you do find your way to the crashed space station, but when you make your way through the rubble, you find just like massive, gigantic, like 12-foot tall bears just sort of camped out, sitting around this crashed science vessel. It's totally crumpled in, but it seems like it might have had some sort of shielding. Some of the fire is out and none of it has spread to the forest, but this thing looks like a dented tin can, and there are a bunch of hungry looking bears just kind of pawing at the outside. You can see another scientist in a white cloak sort of pound at one of the space windows, and he silently screams for help as he lived through the crash on the fire only to be consumed by bears.
All right. Mortimer, you got to keep your voice down. Keep your voice down. Stay very calm.
What's going on?
No,
one of the bears turns around.
No, It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. What did I tell you had to do earlier? What's the key of cooking?
Oh, sorry. You gotta be like water.
You gotta be like water. You gotta be like water. Okay. We gotta flow. We gotta go with the flow. We gotta go with the energy.
The bear that turned around is like, he seems to have like guard AI in a stealth game sort of thing. He's like, it must have been a bear rat. Turns back around and begins like clawing gently at that door.
Mortimer, what's your background in sales? You have sales experience?
Well, I
It'd be really helpful if you said yes right now, but I'm not getting the vibe that you're about to say yes.
I don't. I can do science.
You know what? I might tag you in on this. We'll see how it goes. And like I with the grill strapped around my chest, I come out, I sigh and I roll my eyes like, okay, what did they say? It was, smile, assert, present, project. Okay, all right. And I step out and I look around and I'm like, am I sensing some hungry bears around here? Or am I sensing some hungry bears around here? Hello, this is Toast McLennan from Safe Harbor Cooking. I am here to share my love of cooking with the galaxy. I have it scientifically proven
yes.
to be a scientist, that I create the most delicious hearty meals for any diet in the galaxy. Is anybody looking for some tasty lunch today?
The group of bears is completely transfixed, and I'm going to say there's 5 of them. 5 enormous 12-foot tall bears. They all turn around with a. They seem to be discussing among themselves, like, "Hey, you hungry? I could eat a little bit. Like, this is taking a while, and it smells a little overcooked in there. We might as well see what this guy's doing." You can sort of see on the bottom of your vision in sort of like yellow subtitles the bear language being translated. They sort of waddle over to you upright with their big bear paws swinging at their sides. Give me a charm and give me a charm perform to really sell them.
Charm and perform, you got it. And I might spend some drive here.
Yes.
So I am at 4. I am going to spend 2 drive.
Remember, you don't have to spend drive until you want.
Good point.
One by one. And also, you do have one more Joker left in that deck, which you could anti-Joker it, but maybe you won't. I don't know.
I'm gonna pull my 4 cards and let's see what we got. We got a 10. We got an ace. We got a jack and we got a joker.
Mm-hmm. You gonna shoot it or you gonna let it lie?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about it.
Right.
The thing is, I really don't have a lot of successes left in this deck.
It's true.
Like
I don't think
like I know how many face cards are in a deck, and I know how many I've pulled. I don't have many successes left, so like I kind of got to take advantage of these while I got them. I think I'm gonna anti-Joker this.
All right, cool. I think
this is me playing the card a little bit.
Excellent. I think you do have your crit waiting for you in your deck, but you might want that later. So how many successes did you get?
So that is 2 successes.
All right.
Unless the anti-Joker counts as a success, which I don't think it does.
Nope. It just removes that Joker.
Two successes.
Excellent. Yep. Once again, an adequate job by Toast. The bears are like, yeah, let's hear him out. He looks tasty, and but maybe he cooks better than he tastes. And they sort of like waddle up to you and they're like, okay, what you got?
What do I got? What do you eat? You name it, I can cook it.
They sort of stroke their chins for a little bit. They talk and like, they're like, we're out here for brunch. Not to be a stereotype, but like we're into like, porridges, that sort of thing. Obviously we like to eat local. If you can manage to work in some of the charm, we're like Darren over here has a food blog, so like he's gonna really be the judge of what you're doing.
Everybody's got a fucking food blog. Yeah, okay, so we're talking local flavor.
Yeah,
we're talking porridges.
Yeah,
we're talking. Obviously, I'm guessing. Tell me if this is a little presumptuous, but I'm seeing big bears. I'm guessing big appetites.
Oh, you got us. Yeah, you got it.
And we're looking for something to make a little spicy blog content.
Yeah, just something, that's got that that special something,
something that's gonna get eyes on it. I got you.
Yeah,
this is great.
And if it could show up, in the next 15 minutes, that would really be great. Otherwise, we may have to eat your scientist friend.
Jeff that worked in food service is not loving this. This is getting a little bit upsetting, but that's I think Toast quietly seethes and processes. All right.
Mortimer looks at you with like little puppy dog eyes. He's like, please don't let them eat me.
All right. I got my sous chef.
What?
I got my implements. We're going to get to work. We're going to make something happen.
Do you want to send Mortimer out into the woods to find local ingredients?
I think that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I think that's exactly what I'm going to do.
He's going to do his best. He's foraged before on the weekends. Okay. He got 3 successes. He brings back some mushrooms, some pine needles that may or may not be edible. He assures you that the mushrooms are not poisonous. He tested them himself and he didn't die. He's got a few roots and some eggs for you, some tree eggs that also might be from bear birds. It's all very bear themed around here.
All very bear themed. I get it.
But that is your current spread. You have roots, you have mushrooms, you have eggs, and you have the problem of musk, which sort of gives a distinct like nasally tinge to everything you're working with today.
All right. I think I can work with this. We're gonna make a mushroom porridge.
Ooh.
Give it a nice savory flavor.
One of the bears grunts, umami.
You got like, if we're going for one flavor for brunch, it's gonna be umami. Like, I think that like people go very hard on the sweet, but that savory flavor is gonna be like a really key part of this experience. So we're going to go for like a really savory mushroom porridge. We're going to take some of that pine. We're going to try and maybe get a little bit of pine oil off of those pine needles. Maybe even make like a little bit of a syrup that we can kind of drizzle on it to get that sweet element.
The bears like are talking amongst themselves. Like, I was wondering how he was going to incorporate the pine needles.
This feels good. This feels doable. This feels nice.
This is going to take all of your creativity, I think. So this is definitely going to be a wit flip, and then I'll let you call whether it's biology or perform.
I think it's going to be 4 either way, but I think that in this case it's actually biology.
Yeah, I think the amount of assessment you're doing on these ingredients is definitely has a more like scientific food sciencey kind of background.
I'm also healthy,
yes.
And I'm really I think we're flashing back to cooking school, like where it's like, I think what it is the visual that I get is like a bunch of us sitting in a room and like ingredients flash on a screen and we all say in unison, it's like pine needles, boil for pine oil, use for syrup, mushrooms. Like, it's just flashing ingredients at us. It's very like military drill.
Yeah.
It's all kind of like, it's not in grayscale, but they've put like a blue film over the lens, so it's got that like real bleak energy to it.
The class clown next to you is like, pine needles? When are we gonna ever cook with pine needles? And he's ejected out into space. He's just launched.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
Expelled for his insolence.
All right, so I have got 10 cards in front of me.
Woo.
I've got the 3 of hearts, the 10 of diamonds, the 10 of clubs, the 7 of clubs, the 5 of hearts, the 4 of hearts, the 8 of clubs.
Oh boy.
I have the king of spades.
Hey.
The queen of clubs.
Yeah.
And the queen of hearts.
Hey, all right. That's that's your crit coming in clutch. So you have 3 crit and 2 other successes. So that's 5 successes. This is
This is like if we're really pulling into the food anime vibes,
Yeah.
like this is the name of this episode on the streaming app is like mushroom porridge.
You're like you're like whisking and like doing all this cooking stuff, and you keep flashing back to cooking school. Like, you know, one of your friends is like, Toast, I think I'm gonna drop out of brunch. I don't think I can hack it. And you're like, just stick with me in brunch. All right, I'll carry you through brunch. If you carry me, we can get through cooking school together. And he's like, I don't know, Toast, I don't think I can do it. And you're like, and you say quietly, I'll do it for him.
I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for you.
And just like you're putting your heart and soul into everything. The scientists have left the they've left the crashed spaceship, and they've now filed out to just sort of like they were going to run into the woods and like, you know, just try and run for their lives, but then they smelled this like delicious mushroom porridge, and they're like, oh, that's a really deep umami flavor for brunch. Okay, all right, that's fun. And someone's like, yo, he's using pine needles in it. So they all like start to line up. And so before long, the bears have knocked down a tree and have performed some minor woodworking on it to make a table. And you've got, you see like this little like countdown clock in the corner, and you've got about a minute, and Darren, the food blogger, like growls a reminder, you've got 1 minute to plate and serve. And you're well within the time limit. And as the second the bespoke carved wooden plates and bowls hit the table and everyone has their food, you sort of like cross your arms and invite them to enjoy as they are all silhouetted by this explosion of the science vessel just going up in complete flames and giving one last big like blast in its glory. And that's what punctuates your meal. It's
I do wave my hand. We see the shots of the square plates. I'm like, everyone, I present to you a mushroom porridge. And we see like shredded mushrooms mixed into a porridge. I crack a raw egg into each and like let it settle on top so that the heat of the porridge will cook the egg. Served with a side of boiled soft root, topped with a delicious pine syrup. Should hit all of our requisite for juice. We've juiced some. I guess it's just really mainly sort of more of a grass smoothie, but it'll do. It's got some delicious nutrient flavor. We've got some nice umami. We've got some nice herbiness. We've got some nice sweet. Everyone enjoy.
This legitimately sounds like pretty good. Like if anyone
it actually does, and I'm kind of pleased with myself that it came together.
I mean, I would definitely have a bowl of this umami mushroom porridge. It sounds actually really, really good. I don't believe you could make it in 15 minutes, but with the power of telekinesis,
outer space ingredients, a portable grill,
yeah, and you know, with lives on the line,
you know, we're doing it for Robot Unit 4X7. I'm doing it for 4X7.
You point up and you shed a single tear as the
in the explosion. We see it's the Goku thumbs up shot, yes. But it's like a robot with a spatula and one hand giving a thumbs up. And I just look up. I got a tear in my eye. We did it for you, man. Every day. I also don't think 4X7 is dead, for the record.
No, he's fine. He's just, you know, he went a different path. He's doing all right. He's not paying quite as much in student loans as you are. So
doing it for him, though.
Yeah. It's such a incredible meal and such a feast for the senses that Darren forgets to take a picture before he starts eating. He just fucking lays into it. And there's good cheer all around. There's even enough left over that you can grab a taste and like, damn if you don't do good work. Like this is a moment for you. And you all have a nice little lovely brunch on the surface of Bear Planet as the bear-shaped sun wheels high into the sky. The scientists have called a intergalactic rideshare to take them back to a space station that they can get home too. And Mortimer is like, I don't know how long I've got on this whole science gig. I might want to try going back to school for a bit. Maybe learn how to cook that Pop-Tart.
How'd you feel about an apprenticeship?
You need it?
Admittedly, it's in part because I am so far behind schedule. I was really supposed to be at this shift for a catering job. Like, what time? Oh my god, I'm so late.
Well,
but I could use an extra set of hands if you're interested.
We'd better get going. Then he whips off his he whips off his lab coat. It's got a little Hawaiian shirt underneath. He pulls an apron on and he says, "Hey, make sure to send the check for our scuffed bumper. We're gonna need that. Tell the boss I quit. I'm gonna make something tasty."
Goddamn right you are, my friend.
And your food truck sort of sways back and forth and just gently rockets up into the low atmosphere of Bear Planet. The bears wave, the scientists wave, and as you crest the trees, the truck just gently outpaces the Space Kings logo with a little Party of One pod a logo gently nestled in it.
And that's it. That's game.
That's game.
We did it.
That was fun.
This was so much fun. I had such an absolute blast playing this. Thank you so much.
Oh man, thanks for playing with me. That was a really good time.
That was wonderful.
The prompt that I flipped. So we were on Bear Planet. And let me just look this up real quick. I closed my book by accident. The prompt was a team of scientists has collided with the party's transport.
Love it. Incredible. Fantastic.
Over Bear Planet. So that's a little taste of Space Kings for y'all.
That's so much fun. Thank you so much for playing this with me. I had the best time.
Thank you so much for playing with me. That was really fun. I like that we got to, with one person, you really get to get all the way through the deck. And you can kind of see like the, you really
get into like kind of the card counting and being like, okay, I see where I'm at. Like I know what I've played. I know what's there. And like, you kind of start to suss out. You're like, you get into the kind of the strategy of like, what am I pulling here?
Yeah. You can kind of game it a little bit. And sometimes you're just sort of up against a wall with a force flipped and you're like, there's nothing in my deck. So this is going to go badly. But I'm the worst at dice, so I kind of had to develop a diceless system, and I felt like cards were just like a fun way to do it. So
really, really fun. Well, thank you so much. Real quick before we wrap up, where can people find you, your work, and Space Kings online?
Hi, if you thought this was a cool thing to do, hello, my name's Kevin. Space Kings is a game we just played. You can get the digital version of it and character sheets on spacekings.space. And if you want the beautiful hardcover full color version of Space Kings, you can get that at book.spacekings.space. They're both available now. They're both really fun. If you want to hear Space Kings in action, by the time this podcast goes out, we'll be starting, I think Pretend Friends, my Space Kings podcast, will be up and running. So go check that out. If you just type Pretend Friends into your podcast catcher of choice, you'll find it. If you like me and you want to know the things that I would type into a computer, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Real Kevin Cole. I also make video games and podcasts. I'm on a podcast called Goosebuds, where me and my friends review old Goosebumps books, and it's a hoot. I make a lot of video games, and if you want to play them, you can go to supertry.itch.io. Most of my games are free. A couple of them cost money, but there are a lot of free games, and I think they're really good. And I like them. And that's I do a lot of things, and I recognize that some folks might not want to follow anyone on Twitter. They might want to be free and go skip in a field or whatever. And I envy you. I wish I could give up Twitter. But if you want to stay up to date with my stuff, I'm starting a newsletter. You can get that at news.supertrystudios.com. You'll just get an email every month and it tells you all the things I make. And if you've been following me for a while and you think I'm pretty cool and you're like this guy rules and I've played a bunch of his stuff and I think he should continue to exist, the best way to support me is via Patreon, and you can find mine at givekevinmoney.com.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you again for doing the show. This was the best experience. And for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap things up. Take it, future me. Thanks, past me. And thanks again to Kevin for coming on the show. That game was... I have been laughing with joy about that game for months now. I'm so happy that we got to share it with the world. I am so happy with how this game went. I could not be more delighted with every aspect of this game. Anyway, be sure to pick up your own copy of Space Kings at spacekings.space, and be sure to follow Kevin on Twitter at RealKevinCole. Then while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/PartyOfOnePodcast. Find us on TikTok at Party of One Podcast. Find us on Tumblr at Party of One Pod. Subscribe to our newsletter at buttondown.email/PartyOfOnePodcast. And join our Discord community at bit.ly/PartyOfOneDiscord. If you enjoy the show, there's a lot of ways to support it. You can support us financially at patreon.com/JeffStormer or Ko-fi.com/JeffStormer. You can give us a nice iTunes review, shout us out to a friend, give us some love on social media. You can buy some Party of One merch at bit.ly/PartyOfOneMerch. Or, if you're looking for more great podcast content, you can check out All My Fantasy Children, which is a character creation, storytelling, and world-building podcast that I make with my best friend in the world, Aaron Catano-Saez. We take a listener-submitted prompt and spin it into an original fantasy character, populating a shared universe one story at a time. You can also check out Yazeba's Bed and Breakfast, which is an actual play about a heartless witch, a cozy house, and the many people making their homes inside. Both of those you can find wherever you get your podcasts. Party of One is, as always, produced and edited by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. Music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Rain, featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logos by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, coming on the show as a guest, or about press coverage of the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And, unless I am mistaken, that is all we do here. So until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance. And as always, party on, everybody.